Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Earth Prime Comic Canon crossover to the Arrowverse, issue number 5, which is the Flash's issue. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button down below, subscribe if you're new, notifications on. Let's get right into the review. So, it takes place in Central City 2049. Bart and Excess are running through the city. There's a crime going on, they're going to it. And, they stopped, I think, 2 criminals, and Bart turned his back facing Excess, who was in front of him at the time. And a guy came up behind him with a gun and shot at Bart, and then Nora caught the bullet before it hit Bart, and saved him. Excess mentions how Bart went off on his own, and how that's too risky, because, you know, he didn't wait for Nora, he just went, because he's impulsive, when we got the name Impulse from. And, then Barry and Iris call Nora and Bart to go home for a talk, and they're going on vacation. Now, this is the first time we've actually seen future Barry. We've seen future Iris, actually we saw her in 8/19 for like 2 minutes or so. Not even that, actually, and we saw future Iris in season 5, but we'd never actually seen future Barry. There's always an excuse as to why. I think 8/19, it was Barry and Jay are off-world, doing something, God knows what. So, this is actually the first time we've actually seen future Barry. Very interesting. I didn't really mind it. But nonetheless, they're not going to be in this comic crossover. I think they get one more mention, and then that's at the end. So, and do remember, at this point in time, it's kind of weird to figure out because we don't know really what's going on. I think we know that Iris is okay in the future, except now with the future changing, it's Nora mentioned 8/18. We don't know. But I'm assuming the future will get back on track in 8/20, which is airing this week. Which is why I'm doing these reviews, because I want to get to the last review, the last issue. But this issue actually ties into that one, so, you know, people have been asking me if I'm going to do reviews over it. That's why I'm doing this now, and you guys are seeing it Monday morning, so, hopefully you guys see it. I'll be blasting all over everything, so. Bart is going to university, and by the way, Nora's in charge. Bear and Iris leaving Nora in charge, which isn't surprising, because not only is she older, but, you know, she's more mature than Bart is in many ways. So like I said, Bart's going to university now, and Bart's last name is West Allen, like Nora's, which kind of surprised me a little bit, because I always thought his last name was Allen. Like taking Barry's last name. Nora, I think we were all expecting it to be West Allen, but Bart, I was kind of a little bit hoping that his last name would be Allen. Bart Allen, not Bart West Allen. This sounds weird to me. I don't know. Bart West Allen doesn't sound, I don't know. But whatever. His last name's West Allen. I didn't know that. I thought it was Allen. It should be Allen. But, you know, I guess that ruined the West Allen Iris stands, which I totally didn't get in an argument with on Twitter today. Nonetheless, Bart ended up getting a perfect score on a forensics test, which, if you've been following The Flash for a while, you would think Nora would, but she's going a whole different route with journalism. But the teacher's trying to get Bart to do something with that, because he knows a lot about forensics, obviously, like Barry. So I wonder if there's going to be a route where Bart becomes a CSI, instead of, like, XS being one in season 5, now she's a journalist like Iris, where Bart becomes a CSI like Barry. It'd be pretty weird, but also be pretty cool, I think, at the same time. Just knowing how impulsive he is, pun intended, to deal with CSI work, and I would hope we have to see Barry mentor him. That'd be kind of cool. Being a CSI, not really a superhero, but being a CSI, because they are two different things. The teacher mentioned Bart ended up doing as well as another person in the class named Will Parker. And Parker, who is basically a guy who's using Bart, who's, like, doing better than Bart at everything. It feels like to Bart, he said. And, Parker and Bart talked for a little bit outside the school, and Parker's eyes turned red, and it turned Bart's red as well. So he's a meta. And Parker's powers make people do what he wants. We saw him influence a teacher, the same teacher, to throw away a bad test grade, so it wouldn't affect his grade. The teacher isn't supposed to do that, but because Parker has these powers, he can do that. He also, it's like the Jedi mind trick, pretty much. It's what I wrote down in my notes. Bart and Nora end up arguing at home about going to the field, because Bart, wanted to go out in the field and stop this guy. And then Bart sped off and goes to somewhere, I don't really know where. And then Caitlin shows up. Remember, it's in 2049. And Bart calls her Auntie Kate, like he did in 717. When we first got Bart introduced to Team Flash, he called Kate, she's his aunt. So that's really cool that Team Flash has a big part in Bart and Nora's lives, as they should, but it's very cool to see that. Bart made reflector glasses, so when Parker uses his powers against him, he won't be that affected, unless they, get broken or whatever. Bart tells Kate there's a meta in his college campus that he needs to stop. Bart wants to expose Parker, and he called him Evil Eye, and Caitlin was kind of being snarky about it, but mentioned that Cisco would be very proud of that one, Evil Eye. It sounds like a very Cisco-y thing. Caitlin ended up telling Nora, and then Bart and Nora argued again. There was a lot of arguing between them, too, in this issue. Almost an episode for a minute. Bart sped off trying to prove that he can handle Parker on his own, which is dangerous, obviously, but, he's impulsive. Nora called someone for backup. She didn't say who. We found out later in the issue it was. And said that Bart is being impulsive and asked Roman to come help calm him down, also to help him before he gets hurt or severely injured or worse. Bart goes to where Parker is and takes his phone and destroys it. And all the fans around Bart that were Parker fans are under Parker's control. Because he, mind controlled them all. They all start chasing Bart, so he super speeds off. Parker's live stream, which he was doing before the phone got destroyed, end up, he used his powers in the live stream and end up influencing almost everyone in the city. And, because they're all watching his stream. And they're starting to chase Bart and trying to catch him so they can bring him to Parker and do whatever he wants to do to him. Nora ended up calling Wally, so we got him back, which was surprising, but it was very cool to see him. And he and Nora show up to help Bart in the city as the city's kind of gone mad. Bart and Nora argue again for the fourth time this issue, which is more than we see them argue in one episode alone. Wally yells at them to stop arguing to save the day. Nora thinks Bart doesn't trust her, so he doesn't want her help. Bart goes to look for Parker while Excess and Wally try to stop the people. Wally tries telling Bart that there's zero harm in asking for help, which there isn't. Which you think Barry and Jay would have taught him that, but again, he's impulsive for no one knows. I said impulsive in this one video alone more than I've said in my entire life. I've never said impulsive this much in my entire life than this one video. And you would think in 806, when the episode was basically around Bart and Nora, literally called impulsive excessive disorder, or excessive impulsive disorder, whatever it was. You'd think I would have said impulsive a lot in that, but I guess that didn't age too well, did it? John Diggle moment, right? If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. You got the joke. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you didn't get it, and this moment's just awkward now. So, classic retro content right there. Anyways, Bart and Nora... That's not where I was at. Bart found Parker and asked for Wally and Nora's help when, he was already there. Wally and Nora show up. Parker had already caught Bart and took the glasses off, but his powers weren't really affecting him in any way. I don't really think they explained why. But they end up stopping Parker. He's going to Iron Heights now. So, he's going to be in the Meta Wing or whatever. And Impulse is being the hero and says that Wally and Nora had a big part to play as well. And the fans start calling them Team Impulse, which is something. I think XS was a little annoyed at that. I think we all kind of were, but it was kind of hilarious. Bart and Nora take a break outside the city, and Bear and Iris call them, asking how things are going because they're back from vacation, and they straight up lie about it, which isn't surprising. Then it goes to wherever the hell Wally was. I don't exactly know. I couldn't even pronounce it, so I'm not going to try to pronounce it. Wally felt dread when he came back to the town he's been at. Magog, the villain in the crossover, has been calling for Wally in some way, but not for his help, because he wants to kill him. And Wally managed to escape, and Magog is pissed off. Then it goes back to present day in Star City at Argus, and it's training day with new recruits, and there's this one recruit that this guard is showing him around Argus, and he takes him to the villains part of Argus, where King Shark, Psycho Pirate's Mask, Woodward, aka Grinder, the guy we got in season 1 that bared the supersonic punch to save Iris, to stop that guy. Also Zombie Girder that we got in season 2, when Bear came back from the Speed Force in 221, I think it was. If that was spot on, I'm so proud of myself, because I can remember what I had for breakfast this morning. So that's surprised I remember that one. Short-time memory. Nonetheless, they come up to Bloodworks cell, and the guard warns the recruit he has a way with words, and it's dangerous, which we've seen in season 6. We saw Mirror Iris and Mirror whoever, I think it was Singh, and Mirror Camille? Whatever Cisco's girlfriend's name is. I'm forgetting her name, but you know who I'm talking about. Camille? That wasn't her name. Whatever. You know who I'm talking about. You should know. I don't remember, honestly. But nonetheless, they managed to convince Bloodwork to come out of the cell to give him his blood, and he went back in. Now, he said he had a plan to get out, which is why he didn't leave that day. If you remember that in season 6, he said that. And then the power ended up going off at Argus, and Bloodwork escaped. It showed a really good image of Bloodwork, like in its monster form. And then the comic ended there. And this will be picked up in the last issue, which I'll be reviewing at the point in time you guys should be seeing this, which is Monday morning, Monday night. The same night you get this is uploaded, I'll be uploading the final issue. Overall, it was an alright issue. I didn't mind it. This was done by the Flash writers. Every respective show's issues have been done by show's writers. I do kind of wish we got like a full-on Barry and Iris, or not specifically Iris, but just like a Barry issue, like him dealing with crime in the city, and at least Wally coming back in present day. It was very cool to see Wally, don't get me wrong, but I do kind of wish it was set in present day with Barry and Wally, and, maybe Caitlin or, Joe, not specifically in the future with Bart and XS. It was still great. I loved it. Again, we got Wally, we saw Barry and Iris, and Caitlin, and I mentioned Cisco, and then Bloodwork escaping in present day. That was great. I do kind of wish we got that present day moments. Now, I'm sure it was kind of hard to fit in because we have this Armageddon, Deathstorm arc, and the final, whatever the arc's going to be called, season 8. Where do you fit that in? So I'm sure it was a little bit difficult to fit that in, but I'm sure we'll figure it out at one point in the future. Well, I don't think it's revealed in the final issue. I don't think so. But nonetheless, let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on the issue. And thank you for watching. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.